Swadikap. Hello everyone, my name is Top. I'm the founder and group CEO of BitCup. We are the largest blockchain and digital currency group of companies in the country from Thailand. We are now currently living in a very fast changing world. In the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, all the changes, all the developments would exceed what we have experienced in the last 50 years. The way we work, the way we share information, the way we communicate, the way we connect, will all be very different from today. Human connections are getting better and better and more efficient every day. And also the marginal cost of production is going down for communication and various many industries. With the arrival of Metaverse, with the arrival of augmented reality, virtual reality, we will be able to connect in a more efficient, more effective ways. Human connections, if we were to break down, there are 5 different layers. The first layer is physical interaction, face to face. Before the arrival of the internet, that used to be the main way that we connect as a human. But the marginal cost of production is not effective, right? Imagine if we are to host a class, lecture a classroom today. A classroom may be able to fit 50 people. If we want to, talk to 500 people, then we will have to, buy more chairs and rent more space. Right? The marginal cost of production is increasing as we wanted to increase the output. We cannot do more with less. Right? With the arrival of technology, right, and the computational power is also increasing every year. It's doubling every 2 years, right? Moore's law. We are able to connect via text. This is a second layer of human connection. A good thing about connecting via a text message is that it is a scalable solution. Right? We can connect to anyone, anywhere, anytime around the world, regardless of the distance. But the drawback, of a text message is that we can't really feel the emotion of the other counterparts. Right? If they are angry, happy, sad, we have no clue. It's just a plain text, right? And once the computational power doubled again, human connection is getting better. Now we are able to connect via photos. Right? At least we see expressions, feelings, emotions. But again, it's a snapshot. We are able to enjoy the benefit of a scalable solution for human connection. We can connect anyone, anywhere, anytime, regardless of the distance. The marginal cost of production doesn't grow. We can have a limited amount of photos and text messages. Right? Marginal cost of production is 0. That's the benefits that we enjoy. But the drawback is that still it's a snapshot, right? Photo. It's not a continuous motion. Then human connections, is improved again after we are able to double the computational power every 2 years. We're able to connect via videos now. At least it is a continuous motion, and we get to see faces, feelings, expression, emotions, and able to scale across the world. We're able to connect, do meetings, do partnerships. And the velocity of information is being expedited. But the drawback still, it's not 3-dimension like face to face in a physical world. The feeling of presence is not there, right? In a video, or at this current stage, we're at the 4th layer. We call it the live stream. Right? We can live stream. We can do instant meetings online with face facial expression, but everything is carried out in 2D, two dimension. This is the current, internet capabilities that we are able to, enjoy. But in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, with the arrival of Metaverse, AR, VR technology, right, the glasses technology, the internet is going to be three-dimensional. We will be able to connect via the latest layer. We call it the hologram layer. In less than 5 years, we are able to hologram to see each other, connect with each other, have the feeling of presence like in the physical world. But we don't have to face the drawback of not being able to scale. Right? Marginal cost of production is increasing with the output. We cannot do more with less. That was the previous drawback of the physical face-to-face. With the hologram technology, we are able to enjoy the upsides of human connection. We are able to scale anywhere, anytime, regardless of the distance. The marginal cost of production is not increasing as we want to increase the output. And at the same time, we can sense the feelings, expression, emotions, and the feeling of presence in a three-dimensional world. And this is going to happen in less than 5 years from now. And this is not coming from me. Right? This is coming from Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. He said, within less than 5 years, he said a conservative estimate within less than 5 years, we are able to hologram to see each other. So the way we share information is going to be very different. Right? The way we work is going to be very different. With the arrival of COVID, the employment type, is changing. The way employees work, the way employees communicate, share information, the behavioral change is happening. We can work anywhere, anytime. We are able to connect online. Every companies are becoming a remote first. Even Microsoft, they have this Holo 2 technology where a smart glasses is going to replace smartphones, laptops. Right? We are able to connect to Microsoft Teams, Slack, replacing the emails. We are able to work in a three-dimensional way. Right? We call it mixed reality, where we are able to interact with digital contents. We can expand, we can shrink. Even at Microsoft, they have this changing room lookalike where you step in, there are cameras all over that are able to capture every dimension of your body, your face, and able to clone and create your own avatar. That's another thing, avatar, right? This avatar is what we represent ourselves in the metaverse world in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. What used to identify ourselves, is changing every 10 years. Right? Imagine in the Web 1.0 era, right? The internet, first generation of the internet, from 1990 to the year 2000. If you remember, back then the internet was was a one-way communication. Right? We can't really do much. It's a one-way communication tool. A machine follows instruction. Is a one-pager, a static page that everyone gets to see the same information. Is a one-way. We can read only. Right? We cannot read and write back then. The previous infrastructure were, private servers, big, huge computers, modem, right? Home telephones connected to the internet. What used to identify ourselves in the first generation of the internet was emails. Right? top@hotmail.com, top@yahoo.com. And if we are slow, we have to maybe come up with top123@hotmail.com. If you remember those days back then, right? Email used to be the thing that signify identity, right? Digital identity. And then in the year 2000 to the year 2010, we had this browser revolution. 2010 to 2020, we have this mobile smartphone revolution, the second generation of the internet. We have a completely new infrastructure, like cloud computing is replacing private servers, 4G broadband fiber optic is replacing home modem internet, legacy system. We have laptop smartphones replacing, huge big desktop computers. And the thing that used to identify our digital identity was the domain, right? top0.com. And if you're slow, someone else might domain squat your domain, right? If you remember those days. But in the next 10 years, in the next era of the internet, we won't be using emails or domains as our digital identity. We will be using avatars as our digital identities, right? And the way that we make sure that nobody could replicate our avatar, right, or create this digital scarcity is the use of blockchain and NFTs, non-fungible token technology, right, NFT technology. The whole infrastructure are about to be changed, right? The whole infrastructures will be different. We have the internet from the sky, right, with very low latency, replacing 4G fiber optic internet, right? We have smart glasses, AR, VR technology, replacing smartphones, laptops, desktop computers. We have blockchain that allows us to, for the first time in human history, create digital scarcity. We have AI, artificial intelligence, that are able to process, internet data and be able to hyper-customize the way we use the internet, right? We have, cryptocurrency as a transactional protocol, to transact in the internet economy, right? So the way we connect, the way we share information, the way we do businesses are going to be very, very different in the next 10 years because we're talking about the whole new infrastructure here. AR, VR technology, internet from the sky, right? Metaverse, right? Or blockchain, AI, artificial intelligence, big data, 3D printing, NFTs, cryptocurrencies, all combined are going to change the way we work, the way we share information, the way we do businesses, right? All the business assumptions are going to be very different in the next 10 years. And digital economy is going to be the main, drivers for growth, the new S-curve for every country. The biggest nation on earth right now is not China with the biggest population. It is actually the internet nation, right? We have more and more internet users every year as we go forward in the future. For example, in the last 2 years alone, right? If you look at the past data, in the last just 2 years during COVID, we have 70 million more internet users in the ASEAN region alone. The size of Thailand emerged just in the last 2 years. For example, in the past 2 years, if we were to look at the data, right? There were 70 million more internet users emerging in the ASEAN region alone, a size of a Thai economy emerged in the last 2 years. We have 70 million more internet users, from 280 million users to 350 million users in the ASEAN region alone. And what is interesting about this statistics is that 9 out of 10 internet users are digital consumers. They are spending online of some sorts, exchanging values online. This clearly shows that the internet economy is growing at a rapid pace. And if we were to apply this logic forward, right, in the next decade, by far the largest economy, the next growth engine for growth, drivers for growth, would come from the digital economy. We have a totally new infrastructures coming out in the next 10 years. And we are able to have more capabilities. We are able to do more with less, right? We are able to increase productivity without having to increase the inputs, in the same ratio. And with digital technology, they are an infinite resource, right? We don't have to deplete existing resource to get more output, right? Softwares, digital technologies are an infinite resource that are able to scale. We can do more with less. So we're living in a much better world. We are able to create more output using less and less inputs. Do more with less. Marginal cost of production is decreasing in almost virtually every sector. If we were to compare the current generation to, say, 100 years ago, in 1920, at the end of World War I, the human's life expectancy used to be only 30 years of age. Back then, 100 years ago, there were 2 billion people on Earth. Most of the human's life spans around 30 years. 50% of the mothers lost their lives from giving birth. Everything was scarce. Scarcity everywhere. We didn't really have enough food. Communication was scarce. Access to light was scarce, right? Many people lost their lives from natural disasters. And it used to take, on average, 60 hours of human labor to create, light from candles, right? With the advancement of technology, with the arrival of electricity, for example, we are, on average, able to, create light by using, on average, 1 second of human labor time. That means we are able to save up 5 hours and 59 minutes. We call this holiday free from survival time. 5 hours, 59 minutes, holiday free from survival time. And humans, as humans, we're able to use this time to innovate even newer technology. 100 years fast forward, right now, a human's in life expectancy is up to about 70, 80 years of age now. And mothers don't really, lose their lives from giving birth. People don't really, lost their lives from natural disasters as well. But it doesn't mean that we have less and less natural disasters, but we have better technology to warn us ahead of time. We have, technologies to grow food. We call it the lab-grown meat. We don't have issues with, food scarcity. Some people say that eventually we will run out of water. Now we have technologies to extract water from the air. Overall, the absolute poverty is decreasing. Right? That's the conclusion. The absolute poverty is decreasing every year as we go forward. We are able to do more with less by creating new technology. Right? Marginal cost of production is decreasing in almost every sector. But what is getting worse and worse is the relative poverty, not the absolute poverty. The standard of living is increasing every year. A current medium, mid-range, medium household income family has a better standard of living than Rockefeller 100 years, 200 years ago. But what is getting worse and worse is the relative poverty. Right? We started to see the divergence. We call it the digital divide. Those that are able to accommodate new technologies are able to reap the biggest benefits. Those that are not able to understand technology or accommodate new technologies, are being left behind. We call it the digital divide. Digital divide or relative poverty is getting worse and worse. John Chambers, many thought leaders are saying, in exactly the same direction, that in the next 10 years, 40% of all the companies will disappear if they don't learn to accommodate new technology. Or if you look at the top 10 richest people in the world right now, and if we were, not to look at this list, we would think of the old names, right? Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. But what surprised me, if you go to and see the richest, top 10 richest people right now, today, 8 out of 10 come from technology sector. And the richest person and the second richest person used to be only 1 billion or 2 billion, away, difference between them. But right now, right, the richest person and the second richest person has at least 100 billion gap between them. What does that mean? What does that all mean? Trying to tell us. We have this digital divide, and the digital divide is getting worse and worse. The relative poverty is getting worse and worse. While we're living in a better world, the absolute poverty is declining. The standard of living is improving. But those that reap the biggest benefits are those that are able to understand technology or accommodate new technology. So it is very important that in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, we really need to unlearn the old assumptions, unlearn the way we used to think, right? And relearn a new set of rules, a new set of business assumptions, relearn, accommodate new technology to bring the latest infrastructures, the latest technology to redefine our business models. The way we connect, the way we share information, the way we work is going to be very different in the next decade. Even education is going to be different. Right now, in the educational space, it is not a scalable solution. The marginal cost of production is increasing. If we want to have more output, we have to increase, inputs. That's not a scalable solution. Imagine in a classroom, right? A classroom, say, of 50 students. If we want to educate, if we want to lecture 500 students, we have to get more chairs. We have to buy more chairs. We have to rent more classroom spaces. The cost is going up in tandem with the output. Right? We cannot do more with less. But with digital technology, like the online learning platform, we call this an open educational. We call this an open education system, right? An online education platform. In the future, the main vision of universities would be to try to create an open education system for the world. What does that mean? A digital online platform allows us to do more with less. We can talk in front of cameras, right? Human connection is getting better and better, right? So we're now at a live stream level, but in the next 5 years, 10 years, with the arrival of Metaverse, AR, VR technology, or hologram, we are able to connect. We can do more with less. We can lecture in front, online, and the marginal cost of production is not increasing. Is down to zero, right? If we talk online, we can have 50 people watching our talk, our lecture, or we can have 5,000 people watching the videos, the hologram at the same time. The marginal cost of production is not increasing. We can do more with less. And that means we are able to achieve an open education system. Open means equal access, right? Anyone, regardless of the income level, the background, can have access to education with technology, right? We can do more with less. And a second meaning of an open education system, open also means innovations come from anyone, anywhere, anytime. It doesn't come from a top-down, not in a closed-door meeting. Right now, in many sectors, in many areas, for example, banking, right? All the products developments, all the interest rates, determinations, inflation comes from a closed-door meeting. Only a few people get to decide what should be the interest rate for the year, what should be the inflation rate for the year, what products and services, banking services should people get access to. But in the future, in the education space, in the banking sectors, we are going to live in an open system. Innovation comes from anyone, anywhere, anytime. With the educational space, education sector, content, courses, programs used to come from a top down, right? But in the next 10 years, anyone with the right knowledge, relevant knowledge, can be a lecturer. They can create a useful course, and people can get access anytime, anywhere. And this will be a DNA mutation. It will create a natural selection process where the most useful courses would be alive. It would filter out irrelevant courses by itself in an open manner, right? Anyone can be a lecturer. Anyone can be creating useful content for everyone to learn, to watch, to listen to. And a third meaning of an open education platform or an open education system means that it allows all the devices to sync in an open manner, meaning that we don't really need to have the latest iPad, the latest iPhones, right, or the latest AR VR glasses, but we are able to get updates via softwares, right? We are able to update the software and get access to the latest information instantly. There's no delays in updating the information. Back then, universities used to take universities 50 years to write a textbook, and that is not this is not suitable in a fast changing world, right? But in the next 10 years, all the knowledge, all the information would be always be up to date and fully synced across different devices. This is a third meaning of an open education system. So from today's talk, I would like to wrap up here that human connections are getting better and better and will be very different in the next 10 years. We are able to enjoy the benefits of a scalable solution, right, of being able to connect, to share information, to communicate, regardless of the distance, anytime, anywhere, right? And everyone would have access. We are democratizing the opportunities or the services. And without having to face the drawbacks of not having the feeling of presence or getting access to emotions, feeling, expression, right? We call it the hologram in the next 5 years, 10 years. The way we work is going to be different with smart devices, smart glasses replacing phones, laptops. We are able to work anytime, anywhere. Every companies would become a remote first companies. And we would democratize opportunities with this technology. People who are born in Thailand would have equal access to those that are born in the New York City, for example. Distance would be out of the equation with the latest technology, Metaverse, right? AR, VR glasses, changing the way we work, changing the way we get access to talents. And with the Web 3.0, the arrival of Web 3.0, internet would be three-dimensional. Right? We have a totally new infrastructures happening. Cloud computing, we have AR, VR technology, Metaverse, right? We have internet from the sky replacing 4G fiber optic internet. We have a blockchain that allows us to create digital scarcity. We have NFTs technology that identifies our digital identity via avatar. Right? We have cryptocurrency as a transactional protocols. We have AI, artificial intelligence to be able to process big data to allow us to have this hyper customized internet experience going forward. The business assumptions are changing. Right? The customers' values are changing. The internet economy is booming. In the last 2 years, there are 70 million more internet users alone in the ASEAN region, right? And 9 out of 10 are digital consumers. Right? It shows that digital economy will be the biggest growth engine going forward. Absolute poverty is getting worse, and absolute poverty is getting better and better. Right? We are living in a better world with better standard of living. Medium income family has a better standard of living than Rockefeller 100 years, 200 years ago. Human lifespan is increasing. Access to light, we need to input less human labor time to achieve more output. We can do more with less, right? With better output, better productivity, with better technology. But what is getting worse and worse is the relative poverty. We call it the digital divide. Those that are able to accommodate new technologies are able to reap the biggest benefits. Those that are not able to understand technologies are being left behind. Right? So it is very important going forward what side of history we choose to be in. It is very important that we unlearn the old assumption, unlearn the legacy thinking, and relearn the latest technology, relearn the latest business assumption. We are living in a very exciting world full of opportunities. I hope this session is a useful session to you all, and I look forward to seeing you in the Metaverse in the next 5 years. Thank you.